right, and we're back yet again. How's it going, Blake?
You know, I am doing absolutely fantastic. Just got home from the Ren Fair a couple days ago.
Nice. How was that?
It was awesome. Belly full of mead. A lot of squeaky people.
Why were they squeaky?
I don't know what rating are we on this podcast? Because I was going to talk about the pickle girl.
The pickle girl?
Yeah, the pickle girl.
What are you talking about?
I like getting pickles at Ren Fair, right? So I walk up to the pickle stand, and this woman, it's Ren Fair, so all the women have their boobs up to their chin because corsets.
You've said a boob word, and now I need to inform you something.
Okay.
Right now, as of today, we are now changing our podcast rating.
Okay.
I need to make sure that we are fit to Xbox's new community standards. Have you heard about these?
No.
So Xbox recently came out with some community standards that people have to subscribe to. So I just want to read you the new rules.
Okay.
So that you know that we don't break any of these rules.
Okay. Being a video game podcast, we really need to start thinking about this, huh?
Exactly. Here's the first rule that I need you to understand, Blake.
Okay.
Rule number 3. Turn that spam into substance. It's great to be excited about growing your popularity and sharing all the cool things you do on Xbox. The best way to do that is by producing amazing content, not through giveaways. So here's some rules that we're not allowed to break anymore because Xbox says so.
Okay.
We're not allowed to regularly offer prizes in exchange for follows.
Man, dang it, that ruins next episode. Okay.
We cannot ask or demand that someone add or follow you or another player. So I don't know if we're allowed to plug ourselves anymore on this podcast, but we'll worry about that later. We have rules on acceptable trash talk.
Okay. What defines acceptable trash talk?
Well, they gave examples of some acceptable trash talk.
Okay, can I read one to you?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Acceptable trash talk includes, get destroyed, can't believe you thought you were on my level. That was some serious potato aim. Get wrecked. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead and go read a bad example.
Oh, God.
Now, if you would.
Going too far looks like get, parentheses, sexual threat. Can't believe you thought you were on my level. Hey, parentheses, profanity. That was some serious potato aim. Get wrecked, trash.
So I'm allowed to say, hey, good potato aim, Blake. You did a great job. But I'm not allowed to call you a cuck. That's going too far according to the rules.
Which is a bummer because I love using the word, I love calling people cucks. Nobody's expecting that.
I do want to point out one weird thing that is in here is in their list of bad examples, they have cheap win. Totally expected from a racial slur. But then right underneath it, they have a racial slur typed out.
Oh.
It says, you suck, get out of my country. Maybe they'll let you back in when your KD's over 1. Big yikes, huh?
See, what really upsets me is there's one of two things happen. One, these are actual messages that people were read.
Yeah, somebody did type in racial slur. I do that every time I'm about to be racist, I just say racial slur.
Or or it's like they actually saw these messages being sent over Xbox Live, or it's just a PR team thinking, okay, what are some things that people probably say on our platform?
Can you imagine that board meeting as they're all together and like, okay, now we need examples of something racist to say. And then everybody just shuts up as like no one wants to be the one to say the racist
It's the
thing.
One white guy talking about people needing to leave the country. And then everybody looks at him. He didn't go into work the next day. Okay.
It's a honeypot. It's a honeypot. They brought him in and gave him a racist honeypot.
No. It's like the Goblet of Fire in Harry Potter. Everybody just tosses in stuff into a barrel and they just bring it's anonymous racial pitches.
Everybody added one racist thing and they drew straws.
They have deniability. Okay, this is fun. Also,
what are we doing here, Blake?
By the way, the pickle thing was a girl grabbed her potato aims and squeezed them together. And they made a squeaky sound, and I bought a pickle from her. And she never addressed it. Hey, AJ, I want to pitch you something.
Wait, hold on. What are we... What do we do here?
Hi, everybody. We are Spiritual Successor, a podcast inspired by Polygon's Cool Games Inc., where we take your wonderful pitches from Twitter and Reddit and any other social media platform and turn them into AAA video game titles.
All right.
And I think, AJ, who wants to pitch first?
I want to pitch you a game first.
Okay, I would love to hear it.
This is a submission from our dear friend, Horsegun Inc.
Oh, God, they're great.
Horsegun Inc. says, a fighting game with a sonic ring-like health system.
Okay, I like that. My first question is let's just use Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter as a thing. So you have two people on the sides of the screens.
Yes.
How do you collect rings in that environment?
You have to jump around them. And when your characters hit each other, they're like both physical objects, so you can just like bump into each other a bunch as you try to collect the rings after being hit.
What if we did it like, what's that one, like the anime fighting game that you had me play with you once?
Oh, the J-Stars verse.
Yeah.
The J-Stars games, or like Jump Force.
Yep. Where you can go around a 3D. Say there's like something like that, but there are like Sonic, the coins are just there. I don't think they have like boxes of coins, but like, there's smaller enemies that you can fight in the environment that can give you coins. And the more coins you have, maybe doesn't just equate to health, maybe it also equates to power. You have to collect a certain amount of coins before you can do that character's super move.
Okay. Here's what I want to do then. I imagine like now, you never played Kingdom Hearts because you've never played a video game in your life.
Hey, fuck you. I'm a co-host of a video game design podcast. So, I can play one game, Galaga. And Mrs. Pac-Man.
So in Kingdom Hearts 2, in the beginning, you have this whole like fighting system where every time you hit somebody, all these little orbs burst out of them.
Yep.
And then you can run around and collect those orbs.
Oh, yeah.
So what if that's the health bar system? And the idea that you have about you gain orbs, and then once you have more orbs than the other player, like you have like maybe 120 orbs. You both start with like 50 or something.
Yeah.
The math doesn't work there, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Once you have an X amount of orbs, then you can do your ultimate.
Here's the gamble part of it, because I'm thinking what would be really cool. So you collect, say you have 100 points. You have to collect 100 coins or 100 rings before you can do your super move.
Yes.
Here's the gamble part of it, though, is you will use up those coins in your super move. So if they manage to dodge your super move, they can one-hit KO you. As a result.
I don't know if it's one-hit KO, but I definitely like the idea of you are heavily punished.
Yeah.
But I also love this idea of like, because something I hate is when you're like playing a fighting game against somebody and you want to use your ultimate to like end the match, but you know that if you do, you're going to screw up or whatever. What if the only way to win a match is by landing that last blow?
Ooh, so it's like...
You have to collect the coins off of your friends, and then
smaller enemies, because there's got to be things to generate.
I like that idea too.
There has to be things to generate it outside of just fighting each other, because
like different maps can have like little monsters or big trees that you can break.
Yeah, and you could do theme stuff. So it could be like you're going to say like this is an integration with like other sort of games, right? You can go to the Mega Man level, and there's like a bunch of the robots from the Mega Man games that you have to fight, or like say you go to the Sonic level because you have to fight like some of Dr. Eggman's robots.
Okay, this is actually really cool.
Yeah.
I think we accidentally hit a nug on the beginning. I thought it was a joke one, and then we made it cool. So now I want to change ideas. Do you have...
I have one.
I'm going to put a pin in this because I do want to come back to this.
Okay.
Give me a joke.
Honestly, this is from Brooke Wilson, and this might be one of my favorite pitches.
This was a Twitter submission,
This is a Twitter submission,
okay.
And if you ever want to tweet at us a submission, please do. We're Spiritual Suck. So, if this is one of my favorite submissions we've ever got, because they just sent us a picture of a magazine, and it says it's just this like Generation 1 D&D wizard that says The Secrets of Mud Wizards. And I lost it when I heard this. So I want to do a game. I have an idea. So it's basically... It's wizards. It's like a bunch of like druid wizards.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed this, but there's some words in the top left of it.
Oh, there is?
That say Aying and Programming Muds, Oos, Mushes, UCC, and other internet role-playing games. So the corner of it's like ripped off, so you can't really see what some of those words are.
So you just kind of have to assume. I just want to do a game where it's wizards fighting with mud spells.
Absolutely. I make the request that all the spells have to come from this pool of words in the top left.
Oh, no.
You can only cast
those are our characters.
Programming. Oh, are the characters Muds, Oosh, Mushes, Mucks, and other internet?
Yeah, the last one's kind of a long name.
Maybe internet is the name of the last wizard.
Maybe keeping in spirit of like our last pitch. So say this is a fighting game, right?
Are we going to make fun of the fact that the guy's name is Andrew Bussy?
His name's Andrew Bussy? I don't want to make fun of him. His mom gave him that name.
Okay.
We'll make fun of his mom.
Okay.
We'll make fun of Bussy Sr. And
Okay, tell me about what sort of secrets does a mud wizard hold?
Oh, okay. So, well, we got to figure out, where does this game take place? I feel like that's the thing for me. Is it like
It is in a big coliseum. It is like a monster truck rally stadium.
That's so good. Okay. Look.
The scene is like these wizards are entering different sides of the coliseum, and there's like maybe monster trucks going by, and like the crowd's going like, ah! And there's two wizards on the inside named Mushes, and Ooze.
Okay, so it's like monster truck rallies somehow got way more boring over the years. So this is like I want to know the story.
It's fantasy Mad Max.
Okay. And they just fling mud at one. No, here it is. I have one for you. So like, like in old gladiator days, you'd have one gladiator that has to go up against 3 lions. What if it's a mud wizard that has to go up against a horde of monster trucks, a flamethrower?
One wizard, 3 monster trucks, and it plays like Rocket League, except for the wizard who has like a top-down system where he can control where his wizard runs, and he can control what spells he casts and what direction they run in.
He has to craft the mud ramp so they don't hit him. Like he can craft a ramp or like a sudden turn in front of the monster trucks.
Yeah.
So he can't get hit.
So the monster trucks are trying to kill the wizard.
Yeah.
And the wizard's I think he's trying to make the monster trucks crash into each other.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, but no, my idea is way stupider. I was thinking like maybe one of the big things, everybody's building cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a druid lives in the middle of like where the city is being built. He has to fend off the city people trying to construct in his swamp area.
Yeah, that's way more boring than Monster Truck Rally, isn't it?
So fucking right. I love wizard mud. Okay, I want to put a pin in that because I think you have another pitch, right?
I have. I was just thinking about the secret of the mud wizards. I want to know what secrets this man holds. Look at his eyes.
He does look, and he has like that little glowing.
I'll retweet this on the Twitter at Spiritual Suck with 2 C's, yes, so everybody can see this.
You follow along at home. So he basically has like a little magic staff that has like a glowing blue and red orb in it with like a demon claw around it. You know what? What's really shocking to me?
What?
Like, this has to be the best mud wizard. You know why?
Why is that?
Because his beard is speckly clean. He's never lost a fight with another mud wizard. He's never gotten dirty.
What if there is no other mud wizards?
It's just him.
You can only gain the secrets of the mud wizard if you beat him in the arena.
Are you playing like the...
No, you're playing as the monster trucks and one player's playing as the wizard. It's one of those games that it's got like deep lore behind the scenes, but we never once talk about it.
You're talking about League of Legends?
Like Overwatch or League of Legends. Yeah.
I feel like there needs to be more than one mud wizard because they need to have, just as like the monster truck should be customizable, the wizard must be customizable.
I think the only way that you can customize the wizard is cloak color and wand color. And you can unlock beards, but I want it to be like...
You can unlock beards?
Yeah. So, like, when you start off, it's only the wizard beard, but then, like, if you do, like... Maybe if you're able to make 2 monster trucks do backflips when you're fighting against them, then you unlock, like, mutton chops.
Oh, no!
Okay, I do want to talk about another video game idea, though.
Okay, please.
And it's a bit of a short one, maybe. This comes from L. Brown Knight on Twitter, or Robert Navera. His game idea is a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon / Animal Crossing crossover. Interpret that as you wish. Now I want you to close your eyes and imagine something really quick.
And let me narrate something. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to look back on all of my intense knowledge of both Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and Animal Crossing. There's nothing there.
Okay.
I've never played either of them.
That's okay. That's okay. I can explain to you what this submission says to me.
Okay. My eyes are closed.
Animal Crossing. You're in debt. You need to make money and you need to pay off your loans. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. You're young. You know that you can be amazing and you can transform if you get enough experience, but you don't know how to advance the game. And you don't know how to become the cooler, bigger, stronger version of you. Now, yes, I did just also describe being 23.
Fresh out of art school. You want to level up in your career and you want to pay off all your loans, But you don't know how.
Don't know what the hell to do next. I'm on a video game podcast now, and I went to a film school, Blake. This is where I went next.
This is sad because that's the same thing I did.
So unfortunately, I don't... So that's all I've got for that submission. Do you have one?
That wasn't so much a game pitch as it was a sad life check.
It was a personal attack that our dear friend Roberto made on us.
Thanks, buddy. So my submission actually comes from Way at Way Herman on Twitter.
I saw this.
I love this idea. So it's called Tamagotchi Knife. It's like Tamagotchi Life, except it's also a murder mystery. So basically, the thing that stands out to me is you had Tamagotchi,
Of course,
right?
I had a Tamagotchi. I was 8 once.
You know what the worst part was? Is when you handed it to somebody else and they died in their care. So maybe it's a murder mystery about kids trying to figure out who the frack killed their Tamagotchi.
Ooh,
so
okay.
they got to go interview like Tamagotchis that they recently connected because you can like put them together, right?
Yeah.
And they would talk. So you have to go like investigate all of the different Tamagotchis around.
Okay. That's cute. It's really charming. I want to propose this idea. When I read it, I thought of Tamagotchi Knife. My idea was that one of the big things about Tamagotchi is that it is an actual little device that you have to carry with you.
Okay.
What if that was a knife? And so hear me out. When you need to feed your Tamagotchi, and this works really good because we can teach ourselves better manners. So you get the Tamagotchi knife and it's like, your little Tamagotchi wants vegetables. So you cut up some vegetables and that's how the Tamagotchi eats the vegetables. And then you have all these cut vegetables and you say, okay, well now I'm going to go ahead and cut and cook this because I've already cooked the vegetables anyway. And you start to like grow your Tamagotchi really big and strong because it needs a nice, healthy, balanced diet. You end up cooking nicer because of the accident. But I want to sell one Tamagotchi, and I want to introduce this and call this what I refer to as the Aubrey 2 protocol.
Oh, okay.
Now, how familiar are you with the movie called Little Shop of Horrors?
It's one of my favorite musicals of all time.
Okay. So you know exactly where I'm going when I say Aubrey 2 protocol.
Does it spawn a bunch of little Tamagotchis?
No, that would be ridiculous. It's a Tamagotchi that needs blood. It is a Tamagotchi that, once introduced, it only will eat meat. And we will release this into the world. And somebody will chop it and be like, man, I don't know why, but like, when I chop up celery, my Tamagotchi won't eat it. But I give it some roast beef, some chicken, some steak, and it nobbles that up.
AJ, are you telling me we're going to talk about a game that will take over the world?
I'm saying a video game that takes over the world, 1. 2, we introduce the Aubrey 2 protocol, and that's the murder mystery. This is the one Tamagotchi needs food so much. We personally go in and we find the one loser that can't stop, and we sell him the Aubrey 2 protocol Tamagotchi. And that Tamagotchi will need to feed on flesh.
So basically what happens if... Okay.
And that's the murder.
This is so twisted, and I love it. And this is horrific. Okay. Now we're jumping in not just video games, kind of like a little bit of...
It's an ARG,
basically. So
in the most extreme sense of the word.
So we have to, theoretically... arm small children, because this is marketed towards like 10 to 13 years old.
I think it's marketed towards like anywhere from 15 to 23. It's marketed towards children that want to learn how to cook and adults that want to know how to cook.
Okay. I like that. I like that because like 99.9% of them will teach them, maybe there's like, like those smartwatches that count how many steps you take.
Exactly.
Maybe it's like...
We're bringing good to the world.
Okay, except for one. Okay.
And that's the murder mystery.
Okay, so is the murder mystery going to be basically them trying to figure out who we are because we created it?
The murder mystery will be them trying to figure out what horrible monster would have stabbed somebody to feed their Tamagotchi. And I don't know if I'm legally allowed to talk about it much further than this.
Okay, how about I can make it in a way that's a little bit more tame?
Of course.
So basically...
Tame as in like, just tame like it can't trace back to us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So, we outsource this to out of the country.
Okay. Of course.
So basically, what you do is you have Tamagotchis that all have a knife in them. Maybe it's a plastic.
They are knives.
They are plastic knives, maybe.
Okay.
I think that will greatly affect sellability if it's a real knife. So they teach you how to cook.
Yeah.
They are also fit things that teach you how to exercise, all these things. But certain Tamagotchis, maybe once they get the taste of meat, they suddenly want other Tamagotchis. So you have to like sneak around as a person to find other people with Tamagotchis to feed to your Tamagotchi.
Okay.
So the murder mystery will be trying to figure out who's the asshole that's been eating other Tamagotchis.
Okay, so we have two routes we could take. One,
prison.
for only one person, Blake. There's only one person going to jail.
Us. We'll share a cell.
Okay, do you have another video game idea?
Honestly, I feel we got some to work with here. I might want to come back to either the Mud Wizards or the fighting game, because I feel the fighting game is really, really strong.
I want to do one more. A casual iOS or Android game in which you play as the dentist for Sonic's new human teeth.
Okay.
I want to bust those teeth up. I'm sick of looking at him, and I'm sick of his nasty teeth.
I'm picturing this as like a surgeon simulator sort of vibe, but it's just dentistry. And and it's all... Ooh, this is how we expand it. It's all video game characters in history that have jacked up teeth.
Your idea of bringing in other video game ideas and other video game characters is charming. Don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But Sonic is in this title. And if you think for a second that I'm going to let you run away from the idea of a dentist game where you get to operate on all of the Sonic different characters, and you get to run around the teeth of a really messed up Big the Cat, and a really messed up Sonic, or a really messed up Knuckles the Echidna, a really, really just torn up, nasty CGI Tails the Fox. Don't you really just want to see what is in the mouth of...
Who has the worst cavities of the Sonic people? I think Shadow the Hedgehog. I feel like he eats nothing but black licorice because he's edgy as fuck. And he just doesn't care about anything. He's like talking to somebody, right? And he's like, hey, they're like, hey, you have bad breath. He's like, the black cavities in my teeth match my soul.
I would propose that the person who has the most cavities in the Sonic universe is going to be Cream the Rabbit.
Cream the Rabbit?
Yeah, are you not familiar with Cream?
I am not familiar with Cream. Because we can talk about Rouge. Rouge is my favorite.
Of course, Rouge the Bat is your favorite.
She's...
So that's Cream the Rabbit.
Oh, she's adorable.
She is a child, which means that she has the most cavities because kids don't brush their teeth.
Well, also at the same time, it's just, she has baby teeth. You just cut them out.
Oh, yeah, you could just cut those teeth out. I mean, I'm going to do that to Sonic. Like, if you give me this iOS game where I get to mess with CGI Sonic, I'm cutting all of his teeth out. I'm throwing them on the floor.
You're going to turn him gummy.
Yeah. I don't like that, actually.
I don't like this at all.
Okay, we're done here.
Okay.
Let's go back to one of our other games.
Any teeth game is just not a fun game.
All right, we got to make a decision, Blake.
I think I want to go back to the fighting game because I want to talk about there's a lot of fun things.
I want to go back to Mud Wizard.
Okay. I also kind of want to go back to Mud Wizard. Because I like the idea of a wizard versus a monster truck. I think
it's so cool.
It's just such, like, I'm just picturing a trailer thing of just, like, a wizard holding up his staff, like, earthbending, basically, a giant ramp underneath a freaking monster
exactly,
truck.
Right? It's so cool.
Yeah. So, okay, here, I have an idea for you.
Okay.
So, basically, it's the year 2039.
Okay, 2039.
Right? Okay. All monster truck rallies have been replaced by AI. So all of them, AJ, stay with me. All of the monster trucks are driven by artificial intelligence. No humans involved, but they go haywire and they are just constantly just running around the Coliseum. Nobody can get on them or park them or anything. So it's on you, the Mud Wizard, to come in and park these bad boys in their spots.
It's not a bad idea. Again, I want this asymmetric 3 monster trucks versus 1 wizard game.
Okay.
Because I think that there's a real cool image in one driving a monster truck at a wizard and then watching the wizard just like bring a bunch of mud up and it becomes a ramp in front of him. Because that's just so radical. And it made me think like, I started to think like, what game would this look and feel like, right? I like the idea of like a top-down.
Definitely elements of Fortnite. Like in terms of like the buildability. Like, just like how you swap for material?
There was a video game, I don't remember the name of it, but the whole idea was that it was like this competitive shooter where you could make the ground move. Like, you could shoot a gun and the ground underneath it would lift up or cave downward based on the way that you were shooting.
Wasn't that Inverted?
I think it might have been called just Terraformers. No, it was not Terraformers because that is the name of an anime. So that's probably not it.
Okay, so...
But I like this idea of, like, it's a third person, for the wizard, it is a third person shooter where you can aim the reticle and maybe depending on what, like, buttons you press, you can make the earth come up underneath where you're aiming, or, like, you can, and then you can, like, move back and forth to make the actual ground swell beneath you or around you. And then the monster truck players are all in, like, a normal, like, third person...
Here.
What's the soccer card game? Rocket League.
Rocket League.
And so, like, the players that are playing as monster trucks drive around like they're in Rocket League. They're a lot slower, but they are driving around like that. And the wizard is in the third-person shooter where they get to control all of the earth around them.
Yeah.
And they have different skills where they can just make a ramp immediately.
Let's look at the core of this game. So it's basically the wizard versus the monster trucks. The monster trucks are trying to run over the wizard. What is the end goal for the wizard? Because I'm thinking it'd be really cool... I think it would be really cool if we had a sudden shift in the dynamic, because right now I think the thing that bothers me is that the wizard is just playing the defensive game. I want to give him the attack game. So he's a mud wizard. His final thing should be like he's charging up and he's going to summon a mud golem that he can then take control of for like 30 seconds, and now it's on the monster truck's turn to run. And they have to migrate through this entire environment that he's created in the last few minutes.
Oh, okay, okay. Hear me out then.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. The wizard should have a point that he gets to go on the offensive.
Yeah.
And I think that the two ways that the wizard really has control is, one, they can control the ground, and if they're able to make the monster trucks collide into each other, then they take damage. Or maybe they do just straight up blow up right then.
Yeah.
But there is a long game timer. And like once the game's run for like 15, 20 minutes, then the wizard's going to get to transform.
Ooh, okay.
And then once the wizard activates his, like, that's the secret.
Oh.
Once it's a reveal timer. No. And so the wizard...
I got it.
Okay.
He summons not a golem, but he gets his own monster truck. He summons a monster truck from the mud itself. And it forms around him. And now he's driving a mud monster truck that can basically, I don't know, it goes up to a monster truck and basically swallows it whole. Like, it opens up and creates a mud mouth that he just tears apart.
It's twice as big as the other monster trucks, but I think it only moves a little bit faster than the other monster trucks.
Yeah.
And that gives the other monster trucks the ability, because they've been driving around on the track the whole time trying to kill the wizard.
Yep.
They're used to the terrain now.
Yeah.
And so they can drive around, and if they survive long enough to make the wizard reset, then it goes back to the asymmetric thing of, like, the monsters. It's like a big game of Monster Truck Pac-Man.
And
it's
then
like
it just
Pac-Man,
goes back and forth.
Yeah. It goes back and forth.
What are some of the... I feel like it would be really cool if we introduced some environment.
I want to introduce one other thing.
Okay.
Speaking of the environment.
Okay.
I think that anytime the monster trucks are off of the ground, the crowd goes apeshit. Like, if the monster truck's in the air, the crowd's like, ah!
Oh, that's
and
super
every
satisfying.
time the crowd cheers like that, the timer for the wizard goes down a little bit. So the more stunts the mud wizard can make,
he's powered by crowd appeal.
Yes, and the monster trucks are trying to kill the wizard, and so they don't want to be falling for all of his ramps and all of his sick tricks.
Because I like the idea of maybe the monster trucks can do something in return to make the counter go up. So, like, what can they do? Because now, when you pitch it like that, literally it's the monster trucks and the wizard fighting for control of the crowd.
Yes.
So what are the monster trucks doing that are like, holy shit? Like, I think maybe they can go around and collect upgrades.
There's things that they can break.
Yeah.
There's breakables.
Yeah, there's breakables, and there's like power, they pick up a NOS canister, they pick up a flamethrower fuel.
So the monster truck, like, let's say that there's like a thing where there's a bunch of cars on a row, like you see in the monster truck.
Yeah.
If the monster trucks drive over that and like break all those cars, then the monster truck points go up.
Ooh.
And the timer for the wizard's secret increases. But if the wizard is able to build a ramp right before the monster truck hits that, and the monster truck clears all the cars, then the crowd goes like, "Ah, yeah, wizard!"
And
then the timer for the wizard cools down.
Matches only last like 5 minutes.
I think they should last 20 minutes.
No, because I think it will get really tiring really fast. I think it should be going like I think Pac-Man is a great example because you're only superpowered Pac-Man for like maybe 8 seconds. And then you go back to it. I think that's where the tension comes from. I feel if the monster trucks were on the offensive for too long, it can become boring for the person playing the wizard. And I feel if the wizard is too powerful for too long, it'll just be like, there has to be like shifts of power instantaneously. You know, like every 15 seconds the power dynamic shifts.
Okay.
And you know what would be kind of cool? Maybe to keep it even way more unpredictable, the form that the wizard takes isn't always consistent.
That goes back to the submission, right?
Yeah.
There's different wizards that you can play as. So kind of like the Dead by Daylight, the zombie or the monster game where like there's a bunch of different monsters or killers that players can play as while they're hunting the survivors. There's a bunch of different wizards that have different secrets. There's muds, there's ooze, there's mushes, there's mucks, there's internet.
What if it's just a fucking wizard, like one of his forms is he just summons all of the wet mud and he just he lays his staff down and he rides the staff like it's a surfboard.
Yeah, Mud's special is that he makes an actual like mud wave that he can control.
No, that's ooze. That has to be ooze.
Well, my thought was ooze's thing is that he makes the ground really like bogged down, and if like he's created bigger pits that then he oozes and a monster truck gets in that, they're stuck and they're like dead in the water. And that's how he terminates them, is by making like mud pits that they're stuck in.
How about, and another one could be maybe oozes, but it basically turns all of the mud into Jello. And this is a real physics game. So now all of the ramps turn into like weird trampolines. So now you just have monster trucks bouncing around like they're on it's just like a complete physics render of just boing, 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 and like that would be cool because then maybe it becomes also hazardous for the wizard. So like the wizard, there's a small chance that once he gets his whole thing filled, it can draw back on him.
Yes, it draws back on him. So the monster trucks are bouncing around like crazy.
Yeah. But
the other ability he gets, because there's a chance that it can hit him, he also has the ability that he can direct one of the cars into a different direction.
Ooh.
That way he, in that time, has the potential to make the monster trucks clash, thus getting him the points for the kill.
Like maybe he has control of like a mud Jello hand that comes out of it, and then he could like... Oh, you know, it'd be so cool. He can like reach up and just grab a monster truck out of the air, and maybe one of like you can do like special kills, like you know when a monster truck is completely out of health, it goes into these really cool kill cutscenes. He just throws the monster truck into the crowd, and the crowd dies. But an explosion of mud, and the rest of the crowd is just losing it. They're just like, this is the most killer, beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm so into this game.
Okay, this is actually really cool.
I'm so into this. Okay, is there any little things we can think of to add to this game?
Let's talk about the design of some of these wizards really quick.
Okay.
Muds, ooze, mushes, mucks, and internet. Internet's just a millennial. He's the youngest. He's got glasses on.
He's got a romper.
He has a romper and he has a twizzly mustache.
He smoked. He has a vape wand. Like one end of it is a wand, but then he just brings it to his mouth. Tastes like strawberries.
I think the wizard on the front, that is Muds.
That's Mud.
The wizard that's on the cover with the really clean beard and the really thick eyebrows and the purple hood, that's Muds. So what does Mushes, Ooze, and Mucks look like?
Mucks is just constantly wet. Like he's just...
Not Ooze?
Yeah, Ooze actually. It would be just their robe is soaked in like swamp water.
Okay.
And like anytime you touch them, it just feels like you're touching like pudding that hasn't set yet.
Okay. I want to talk about Ooze really quick. I think Ooze is short for booze, and he's just like this real redneck that has like a beer gut and a trucker hat. He looks like he would be on the trucker side, but he's a wizard.
He's just a trucker.
So what does Mushes and Mucks look like?
Mushes, I want to say he is wearing the thickest like cloak possible.
Okay.
So like he's just basically like if if you were to ram him, he would bounce away from you.
Okay.
So he's a water balloon. He basically looks like a water balloon with arms and legs.
Okay.
Like
He's just like this big rotund guy.
Yeah.
Does he sway back and forth when he walks?
It's not because he's overweight, but because
because his coat is so big.
His jacket is just
like,
so full.
He's like the kid in A Christmas Story. He can't put his arms down.
Yep. Okay. What's our last character?
Mux. I don't know about Mux.
He's kind of just a derivative of Mud. Oh, he copies all of Mud's style. Okay. And he just wants to be the Mud Wizard. So he's a complete copy of Mud.
What if he's a little kid?
Yeah, he's a little kid. He's a fan. He has like a Mud Wizard hat on. He has like a little fake beard that he puts there.
Oh yeah. And then, as the game goes on, we can release more and more characters for this game. I'm going to talk about really quick car customization. Okay. I think we have like a really, really robust monster truck customization. Mm-hmm. You can change tire tracks. You can change like the rims. You can change like the looks of it. Mm-hmm. I don't think any of these affect gameplay because I kind of want to make sure that it has like a lot of constants. It plays like an online game these days, Rocket League or something like that.
Yeah.
So you can customize the absolute hell out of your car, but it's going to stay generally... It's not going to affect gameplay at all.
It's cosmetic, and I think the upgradables, maybe each car gets one like they're special. You know, like when you play the arcade games version of Mario Kart where it pre-selects what your special items are before the race begins. It's like that, and then you pick up like that mystery box on the field.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can unlock that, and then you can like suddenly... It turns out now you have a bulldozer that'll allow you to go through all of the jumps that they set out.
Yeah.
And it's that way because I want it to be both sides to be given just as much love. What we talked about, like there's a special kill cutscene for when a wizard kills a monster truck. What's the cool thing?
I don't know if there actually is a cutscene for that because not
a cutscene, but like what's a cool finisher?
Oh, like a nice animation. That way the action doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are animations for the monsters. I think that like what you can unlock as a monster truck though is different like particle effects for what happens when you do hit the wizard.
Sweet.
So like when you hit the wizard, it's got the most crazy thing like when you are able to actually hit the wizard. Mm-hmm. And so different unlocks would be like, oh, maybe you get like a confetti thing. So when you hit the wizard, they're going to explode into confetti. Maybe you get an unlock where it's the wizard option. So when you hit the wizard, it explodes into more wizards. And they all ragdoll out.
On a side note, I think for a cosmetic, what would be really wonderful is that you just have a wizard rope tied to the front of your hood. If you're driving.
If you make platinum in our first competitive ranked season, then you can get a little upgrade that the wizard or a wizard is strapped to the hood.
Oh my god, I love that. I'm happy with that.
Name it. Name's done for us.
Mud Wizards.
No.
The secrets.
Secrets of the Mud Wizard.
The secret of the Mud Wizards. I love that.
That's great.
I think that might be my favorite game that we've made on the podcast.
I like Tamagotchi Knife personally.
Tamagotchi Knife was cool because that integrated like a little bit of a real life element into it.
Of course.
Which is cool because I definitely want to try some stuff like that.
I want to try an ARG where we murder people. We ready to go to patch notes?
I'm ready to go to patch notes.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Spiritual Successor. We hold on to a lot of good ideas that were submitted to us because the next episode we're recording a little bit earlier than normal because I'm going on vacation and Blake's going to edit the next episode. But
it's not going to... our next episode is going to be releasing at the same time. It's just going to be me editing it. It'll be fun. But one thing I really, really want to say to you guys is... this is the first time we've had a majority of just Twitter submissions. Like pretty much every submission except for two was submitted to us on Twitter by you guys. And that's AJ and I just lost our minds at that. That was the coolest thing.
I want to talk really quick about the email that we got. Can you pull it up?
This was, I don't think I'm going to read it to everybody because I believe they sent us that in confidence.
Okay.
But it was sent by an anonymous person. They very cleverly called the email Anonymous.
Yeah.
And it meant the world to us because I got that at like 9:00 at night and they just said, hey, thank you for taking up the torch of, Cool Games Inc. And I called AJ, and both of us kind of went to sleep with smiles on our face that night.
I wanted to bring that up to this because I think what's important to note is he mentioned that we were a decent heir to the Cool Games Inc. But I think what's important to know is that that's not just because of us. It's because of you guys as the community have been helping us out. You've been giving us game submissions. And as funny as Blake and I may think we are,
I think I'm very funny.
We can't come up with the game ideas. Like we can, but it just wouldn't be the same without your guys' interaction.
It's your guys' pitches that really make the podcast.
So I wanted to say a huge thank you to you guys for submitting and for continuing to submit.
Yeah, we hope we can entertain you guys and for years to come.
With that being said, because we're recording next week a little bit earlier, we got to go on that good old game developer crunch. So I need all of you guys putting in like 90-hour days to give us some video game submissions.
I would love that.
Because I'm actually nervous about how many game submissions we're going to have for the next recording.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, other than this awesome submission, we are really starting to push ourselves on iTunes now. So if you guys can shoot us a quick review, love our podcast, hate our podcast, leave an opinion, we're always looking for notes on how we can improve ourselves.
Those matter a lot for us on the back end. So if you guys could give us those reviews, it would mean so much for us. I know we're asking a lot from you guys this week.
Yep. But no, we're taking this seriously. We moved into the storage area of my work, and we are now soundproofing it, making everything sound lovely.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you guys all again. Really quick, the intro and outro song that we use is Cheap Shop by Tamagotchi. It's an excellent song from an excellent album from an excellent game.
All right, everybody. This has been Spiritual Successor. I am Blake Rea.
And I'm AJ Hart. And as always, these are cool games
that should not be made.